So first, we are going to dive into the marketing application. There continues to be lots of focus both on improving the user experience and, of course, adding in new features. This makes sense since Dynamics 365 marketing is still a new application compared to the core sales and customer service and even field service that we're primarily used to. So to be clear, for those that have been in Dynamics CRM for a while, this is not the simplistic marketing pieces that you often see included in the Sales Hub, so like the marketing lists and the basic campaigns. This is the full marketing automation application, and I believe it's probably about 2 years old, or it's getting to that. It was a 2018 release. So starting us off is segmentation with natural language. So this really helps the user to target, the audience without using any complex syntax. It also allows them to, create their templates and, minimize any time spent on parsing segment logic. And I'll show you a quick example after here. But some of those examples are along the lines of what you see here. Customers who live in Canada but not Quebec and work in mining. So that's using natural language to build that segment. People who have a birthday this month and work in finance-related industry. Again, another example of using natural language for segmentation. And while I certainly love diving into live demonstrations, some of these things, because they're in preview mode or they're just being released, it's a lot easier than to just grab the screenshots of these previews. So for today's webinar, I won't be diving into the environments because not everything is actually available just yet, but we've been able to grab these screenshots and previews that Microsoft demonstrates. So in this case, I'm just showing that natural language use when building a segment. So you can see the example here where they've typed in the text of people who have a birthday this month and work in finance-related industries. So that's the actual user typing this in, and then the system is giving back what they think you're looking for. So you'll see here, it's showing which entity. And again, this would be based on your system setup, whether it's account, contact that you're primarily focusing on. Industry, so in this case, finance related, and depending on what you have in your system in terms of data, it's bringing back industries like accounting, broker, financial. It's also bringing back the entity contacts. Again, this can refer to your system setup and what you primarily focus on, especially when in this natural language you're using people. The same could be said for if you say customers, because customers can be both accounts and contacts depending on the organization. And then of course it's bringing back the birthday, since we've said birthday this month, and it actually brings back that filter criterion here as well. So it's just a very easy way to build this out without having to go as in-depth when you're building out this segmentation. Another new feature refers to InPlace Editing of content. So think of emails, pages, marketing forms, and the actual segments that you build or include in a customer journey. So you no longer have the need to navigate away from your customer journey to create or even revise that content. So the designer can be launched right from within the customer journey, and you don't lose any of the editing functionality that you'd be used to when you normally go directly to those content areas. So that's a huge plus. As it relates to events, you can create as well as revise the marketing forms from within the event itself. So if you're building out an event, and for those familiar with the marketing application, you can create your events, but you can also then from within there create the actual event form that you're going to use to post. There is also just a general redesign of the customer journey as it refers to the new Canvas experience. So for those who are used to the customer journey canvas right now, you'll see that as that update is rolled out, it'll just be a new canvas experience. And part of that too is also to allow the in-place editing of content when you're in there. Next up is social media posting. Certainly can't talk about marketing without talking about social media. Now, some of these are really just improvements, enhancements, and I do have to say you'll no doubt continue to hear the statements like improvement to, enhancement of, etc., which is really just meant to continue spotlighting the ongoing effort that is going into existing features to, dare I say, enhance or improve their capabilities and the user experience. It's no doubt exciting to hear of brand new features. We all like new stuff, but for those who are already using the products, these type of updates, enhancements, improvements can be just as celebratory. So I'll apologize for the overuse of any enhancement and improvement, but they really are the correct words for these types of pieces included in the wave. As it relates to social media posting, the creation experience has been redesigned, improving on the user's experience for building and posting that rich content to your social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Same goes for the scheduling experience. So again, this is more for those who are already in the marketing application, what you're used to. You'll just see improvements to that experience and what you're already used to creating. Now, most importantly is later viewing all the related interactions and performance. So having those analytics easily accessible from within the platform is a huge benefit. Just showing a quick snapshot of the new post creation. So the form itself might look a little bit different than you're used to, and having that great preview on the side of what it'll look like in the platform. And then just the scheduling here. So being able to see what has already been posted, so anything that's been grayed out, of course, any past posts that have gone through, and then also seeing the upcoming scheduled posts as well as what platform they're going to. And you can see that just by the icons of whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. This one's a huge benefit, and it's certainly exciting to me because Microsoft Teams has just been rolling out globally, and especially with the pandemic being offered to more than just the companies around the world, but to the individuals as well. So from the marketing perspective, it's a much deeper integration now. So you can actually create and host live events with Teams as the provider. So you can still create those live events and meetings within Teams, but this is actually doing it from the marketing application. So the Teams webinars integrate directly into the marketing events. So you can set it up as a live event or meeting. You can also add your producers and presenters right from within the marketing app. Additionally, you can enable check-ins, which is obviously great for gaining better insight into your attendance. So hopefully, in the near enough future, you'll start to see our transition over into this as well. Just a quick snapshot here of event creation within the marketing application. So some of you that have been using this, you may have signed up for an ON24, but you'll soon be able to have the Microsoft Teams as a selection here for your stream configuration, which I'm sure for those who already have Microsoft Teams licensing and that it's well integrated into your organization and used by users, it's just that much more beneficial because it's something you're already using. Now on to form submission matching strategies. So this relates to no longer having the need to map to your lead and or contacts, so the out-of-the-box lead and contact entities within the system. So this also enables a no update to leads and contacts. And just to show you what that looks like in a two-step screenshot here. So from a marketing page configuration, you'll soon have this option to either enable or disable form submissions allowing form submissions without actually updating the contact or lead. So this is a settings piece first. And then when you are creating the actual marketing form, in the update part for that specific form, usually you could select only contacts, only leads, contacts and leads, but you'll have a no update option as well. Now, there are certainly pros and cons to this, and I'm not quite sure which side of the fence I reside on for this update. But if it hasn't really come up as a need for your organization, I wouldn't enable it. From a typical sales or marketing process standpoint, form submissions are usually meant to be tracked to a lead and or contact and update those records. Now, there are always exceptions, I'm sure, so I'm certainly curious to know of some setups where this isn't used and maybe mapping to a custom entity would come into play. So that is one of the reasons for this feature, as disabling any update from happening allows organizations to use other forms of automation for any custom mapping they might require depending on their system setup. So when I think of it, think of a case where a form submission could trigger a flow, if you're using Power Automate, and send data elsewhere, like a custom entity, for example.